Good luck, Elliana and Ethan, Team Peal, in the Grand Prix Series event on the junior level. Ice dancing. Siblings, ages 19 and 16. So exciting, their second year on the Junior Grand Prix. But things go way back for me knowing the Peals. And so before we start at the present, this being their short program to Janet Jackson, the theme being the 80s, and their free dance being to Lord of the Rings, let's rewind and go back in history a little bit for the Peals. The Peals have always been at the top of their level every year. This is when they were juveniles for the first time, and I believe it was 2015-2016. If you see a guy in the back with a white tag around his neck, that is their dad, Rob. He is their coach, their choreographer, and their dad. This is their first, I think, Twizzle attempt together, and they have come just so far in every way. But the Twizzles made me giggle because of how far they've come in dance. This was the second year that they competed as juveniles. They have reached nationals every single year on every level that they've ever competed. They have medaled numerous times and won the gold medal their intermediate year with their favorite program of their mom, to Beetlejuice. And this is some of the little clips of that program that won them the national title that year. You can see how young they started. I understand they started skating at 1. That is actually a common thing for skaters, coaches, children to actually, put on skates and be kind of tugged along at 1 or 2 years old. And it was just meant to be. They both skated in singles as well for quite a while, but figure skating is quite an expensive sport. So to devote all of their time and then, financially, it's really almost impossible to do two things like dance or pairs and single skating, even though they were both quite successful in singles. So this was another program. This was The Greatest Showman, and I really enjoyed this program as well. I've liked all of their programs. It's very unusual for a coach to be a choreographer also, but their dad has done a masterful job of using these kids. I call them kids, they're not so much kids anymore, but using their commitment to music and choreography and playing characters. And it's really fantastic because a lot of times, especially like a sibling team, you'll have one person who's far more expressive than the other one as far as being emotionally committed to the program and the music. Not in this case. They are both so connected to each other and their music and the theme of their programs. This one was, I believe, from Aladdin. So we have Jasmine there, the princess. And I think this was one of their first internationals, maybe their second. I think they did the previous program also internationally. That's before the Junior Grand Prix. There are some invitationals when you can get invited when you're at a quote lower level than that. The big competitions begin at the junior level, and they have just been at the top of their respective level every single year. It's pretty remarkable. I was fortunate enough to skate with them a couple of times in fundraisers or exhibitions. And there we are with our names on the wall. We were raising money for the pets that were left behind after a hurricane in, I believe, Texas. And so there's me. I was skating. Elliana is on the right at the bottom there. A little thing. And Ethan is kind of standing behind her. I think this was the Beetlejuice program. And they also skated their singles programs in this exhibition to raise money for that cause. This was one of my very favorite programs. This was 2 years ago, and it was a compilation of songs that just made you feel good. And it was at a time, during the pandemic where we wanted to feel good as a society, and they just skated their hearts out. You could see their emotional commitment to the music just in these even still shots, and that is quite unusual. So Elliana has continued to grow taller, as you can see, and they are near the same height now, but they use that to their advantage. They've decided not to see that as a negative thing. There are definitely teams that take a precedent in this, such as Hubble and Donahue of the United States, where Madison Hubble they capitalized on her strength as a skater and didn't view it as the girl or the woman having to be this diminutive, tiny little thing, and they used Madison's strength and power to their advantage in their programs, which is what the Peals are doing now, as Elliana has grown and is near the height of her brother. She has to be extremely strong because a lift is not all, from what I understand, I haven't done this, but is not all the guy just lifting the female, the woman. A lot of it comes from the woman's strength as well. So this was in practice to their program to Halo, which is a video game, and this was their free dance last year, and this is in a practice. On Ice Perspectives will come and film the top teams in junior and senior as they're practicing. So this was kind of a neat, very close-up version of filming them doing part of that program. And it shows the strength and it shows the emotional commitment. You can just see it. Fortunately, their teammates were standing on the boards so that they could have the full ice to do their part of their program here. So this was Halo last year. I believe in juniors they came in 4th at the national championships and were on the Junior Grand Prix internationally for the first time, making them eligible to try and earn a spot for Junior Worlds. It's a very deep field in juniors, so they didn't reach Junior Worlds last year, but may very well this year. I think that's probably one of their biggest goals. Elliana does a ton of dance, not just ice dance, but is a competitive dancer, and that inspired their program this year for their short dance to a Janet Jackson, and it needed to be 80s themed, and she actually met Janet Jackson, I believe, as part of her dance team. So they capitalized on this, used their athleticism and their unison is spectacular on this short dance. It's called a rhythm dance instead of like a short program for the other disciplines. So fun. And then their free dance. I absolutely love their free dance this year. It is to Lord of the Rings. I am not familiar with Lord of the Rings. I'm not too up on pop culture. This is like an effervescent free skate, and it is extremely powerful at the same time. It flows seamlessly from beginning to end. You don't want it to end, and that's a sign of a great program. Not only great choreography, but just fantastically skated with confidence and poise and joy, and like I said, just effervescence. I believe that the Peals have what it takes to go all the way, not just because they're my friends, but because they have everything that's required to make them champions of the world. Go Team Peal. Good luck tomorrow. Never forget where you started from. You've come so far.